Being in secondary school has taught me a couple of things about the state of our traditional education system. Learning is currently focused on memorization instead of real world execution. What learning should be is that it should be developing an idea and further execution on that concept. But we do not teach this to students. Compared to the last couple of generations, we have more opportunities to develop new products and have new creations to more people. Now there are many alternative ways to seek information in all ways, shapes, and forms. And what does this mean? It means there are many learning styles to learn new topics and ideas. If we were to look at a trend of gaming, we could see that you could be successful for the comfort of your chair by being really good at a game. Take that in perspective. You can make a living by playing games or having a persona online. The traditional education system has a great principle of teaching kids discipline and to get things done. But what people notice with the system is that it lacks flexibility and is very harsh on creative abilities. And yet we take it for granted because we have this mindset of having it hasn't happened yet, so it won't happen. The problem with this method is grading is as we as a society are competitively driven, meaning we put heavy emphasis on the perfect grades and discourage students from pursuing their own passions and limit their ability to learn new subjects and interests. The reason why we haven't changed it, even though we have the evidence to show that students learn different, is because nobody shows responsibility. This could be teachers not reinforcing policies for learning new topics, the school board being strict on deadlines and enforcing policies that restrict freedom and say, parents telling their kids to go to school because as a kid they were told that, politicians have strict legal jurisdictions on what policies can be enforced on the traditional education system. In this position, the person that holds the most say to change is yourself, because you are in control of what you learn, when you learn, and where you learn. And the topics you want to learn are also in your control too. Filmmaking, content managing, game designing, web designing, developing new code. All these skills are on the internet. The best you could do is learn new topics outside of school. More importantly, it would also be great if you met the person instead of the topics they have made to further understand their perspective on how things work for the way they work. Education as a whole concept is useful because it teaches people the idea of STEM. And without society, we will be doomed to fail because we aren't intellectually thinking on how to grow and develop as people and only cherishing to ourselves. Younger people have this view of disliking school because it limits their growth and ability to focus. Because from experience, they can't sit still and you have to give them many options of what to do and be really interactive with them. This is what I think can be changed. The interaction and the way of school that can be changed. Children are the generation of tomorrow, and we want them to have a clearer view of ways that can help them grow along with others to shape the world for the better. YouTube and the internet is the best resource we have today because it's dynamic and it's updated every time anyone has an answer. It's flexible, and when technology improves, you have more content at your disposal. People need to understand that you don't need to go to college to learn the skills anymore. It's all about the connections and the people you need to obtain the dreams you want to achieve in your life. The most useful skills you need to learn today are networking and adapting, because if you don't have them, you'll be negligent and stuck in a job where you aren't growing. This is why many adults get stuck nowadays, trying to sort all over their problems by putting a band-aid over the source of the problem, making the problem worse in their lives. Social media over the years has been a very popular because it's accessible and anyone with an internet connection has access to it. But social networking is a great tool to meet new people and understand people's thought process. It's why Mark Zuckerberg created Facebook to connect with other students in Harvard. The concept of having the idea of meeting the next person who will cure cancer or end world hunger, or the next politician that makes world peace a committed task. I'm not telling you that you should do any of the methods listed above because it's easier. I'm just saying that you have to be mindful and that the learning style has pros and cons that you have to be aware of. This itself is a major change because now we are seeing is that people are choosing to build connections rather than the skills. Especially with the rise of ChatGPT, we are seeing many jobs are now being obsolete and are now being replaced by AI capabilities. Automation will be the next change in the next decade. The jobs that are going to be important are the ones that require a lot of intellectual thinking and will skill to fit the needs of the industry. People nowadays are seeking these connections because it gains individual access to job opportunities and information, ultimately increasing one's credibility and status. We always want the best for everyone, but we have to educate people to understand that they aren't dumb, but they just learn in a different way. I personally thought I was a stupid kid because I wasn't getting the best grades and wasn't taking the best classes and didn't understand what I needed to be doing. But I was just stagnant with the wrong people at the wrong time until I realized that there were options that I wasn't using and I just learned how to use it. This video was shown to help you understand that the traditional education system is not perfect and is not for everyone, and there are options for you to learn new skills and interests at your own student level.